All right, ready to dive into something epic.
Always up for an epic adventure. Where are we headed?
This time we're taking a plunge into Emily H. Wilson's Gilgamesh. You familiar with it?
Oh, absolutely. A fresh perspective on the classic Mesopotamian tale, right?
Exactly. And what makes Wilson's version so unique is that she tells the story from multiple points of view.
Ah, so we're not just getting Gilgamesh's side of the story.
Nope, we hear from Inanna, Minshubar, even a mysterious character called Minlil. It adds so much depth to the narrative.
Makes you wonder, what was Gilgamesh's world truly like beyond his own perspective?
And let me tell you, this world is a wild ride. Uruk burning, Gilgamesh facing all these trials, the constant threat of war. It's intense.
Definitely sounds like there's a lot to unpack there. Where do you think we should start?
Well, how about we kick things off with Inanna? Right from the start, she's on this mission to get her hands on some powerful divine weapons called the Mies.
The Mies. Didn't she have to go up against her own grandfather, Enki, to get them?
That's the one. Enki, not too keen on handing them over, but Inanna, oh, she's determined.
Ambitious goddess that she is. But what makes these Mies so special? They're more than just weapons, right?
You hit the nail on the head. They represent divine authority, a sort of cosmic power that could influence both mortals and gods.
So it's not just a family feud, it's a power struggle, a battle for ultimate control.
Exactly. And Inanna, she's not afraid to challenge the established order. She believes she's worthy of wielding that power.
But she didn't go alone, did she? I remember Minshubar was with her, right? A pretty formidable companion, if I recall.
Oh yeah, Minshubar is no ordinary sidekick. She's a fierce warrior, totally devoted to Inanna, and plays a crucial role in their perilous journey south to Enki's city.
That journey down the river was quite an adventure, wasn't it? Full of monstrous creatures and narrow escapes.
It's like a mythical road trip, but with way higher stakes. And while Minshubar is busy battling these beasts, Inanna experiences this strange surge of power.
Almost like something's awakening within her.
Exactly. And then, to top it off, she has this unsettling vision of Tiamat, the primordial goddess of chaos.
Spooky. What do you think that signifies?
Well, it's definitely a foreshadowing of the conflicts to come, right? Tiamat represents this primordial chaos that could swallow the world whole.
Makes you wonder if Inanna's pursuit of power might backfire in some way.
It's like that butterfly effect, one small action setting off a chain of events with huge consequences.
Exactly. And you know what? We see a similar thing playing out in Gilgamesh's story, but from a mortal's perspective.
Oh, how so?
Well, he's also driven by ambition, by this need to secure his legacy and protect his city, Uruk, from the looming threat of invasion.
You're right. It's like Wilson is drawing a parallel between the divine and mortal realms, showing how both are susceptible to the allure and dangers of power.
It's a good reminder that even though Gilgamesh is part god, he's still bound by human desires and weaknesses.
And those weaknesses become all too apparent when Uruk is besieged. The city, once a symbol of his strength, is pushed to the breaking point.
That siege was a turning point for him, wasn't it? It forced him to face his own mortality and the limits of his power.
And in the middle of all this chaos, his loyal companion, Ninshubar, embarks on a quest to find this mysterious boy connected to Inanna, right?
The boy named Pada. A tragic story, that one.
Absolutely heartbreaking. And then, of course, Gilgamesh suffers an even greater loss.
The death of his wife and child during the siege.
It's a brutal reminder of the cost of war, how conflict leaves no one untouched by tragedy.
This loss changes Gilgamesh, doesn't it? It strips away his arrogance and forces him to confront the pain he's caused.
A harsh lesson, for sure. And it makes you wonder how he'll even begin to navigate this world, now stripped of everything he held dear.
It's a good question, one we'll definitely delve into further, but before we go there, I think it's time we turn our attention to another character, Ninlil. Her story is shrouded in mystery and darkness.
Definitely intriguing and maybe a little unsettling, ready to explore her path.
Absolutely. Let's shed some light on Ninshiber's journey. So where do we find Ninlil when her story begins?
We first meet her as a captive held by the god Utu. And wouldn't you know it, she's right in the middle of a raging storm.
Sounds ominous, almost like a reflection of the chaos brewing everywhere else.
Right. It's like her journey is mirroring the turmoil that's engulfing both the human and the divine. And then things get really strange. She starts going through this unsettling transformation.
A transformation? In what way?
Well, for one, she develops this insatiable hunger, this primal urge to consume. And her body starts changing in some pretty disturbing ways.
That definitely sounds like more than just a simple hunger pang. Do we know what's causing this change?
It's definitely not your average growling stomach. It's almost as if she's tapping into a source of power, something ancient and powerful.
Something even the gods might fear.
Exactly. And her journey leads her to the ruins of Nippur, a city steeped in history and mystery. There, she encounters a stranger named
Era. Hold on, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's the one aligned with Tiamat, the primordial goddess of chaos. Remember that unsettling vision Inanna had?
Oh, wow. It's all starting to connect, like all these seemingly separate threads are being woven together.
It's as if Wilson is creating this grand tapestry of fate, where the actions of gods and mortals alike have these far-reaching consequences.
And with Era's arrival, things are about to get even more complicated. He sets off a chain of events that will have some pretty devastating consequences.
No kidding. One of the most shocking events is the death of Enlil.
Enlil. But he was the head of the pantheon.
Exactly. The god of wind and storms. And guess who's behind his murder? Hera.
That's a major power shift. Talk about shaking things up. So what happens next?
Well, with Enlil gone, there's this power vacuum. And Hera, he's more than happy to fill it.
And what about Ninlil? How does she fit into all of this?
Here's the really disturbing part. Hera starts manipulating her, preying on her grief, and her growing connection to this darker power.
He's twisting her into her weapon.
Exactly. Using her to further his agenda of chaos and destruction. It's tragic seeing her go from an innocent victim to an agent of chaos.
And her transformation has serious implications, right? More power for her means more influence for Era. They become this combined threat to the world's stability.
Like a storm that's about to break, threatening to swallow everything in its path.
Didn't Uruk fall around this time, the city Gilgamesh was trying so hard to protect?
Yeah, it falls under the influence of the Anzu, another devastating loss, especially for Gilgamesh.
He's really going through it, isn't he? Losing his city, his loved ones.
And it doesn't stop there. Remember Minchubar, Inanna's loyal companion?
What happened to her?
She sacrifices herself to protect Inanna from the forces of chaos.
No way. So Inanna loses her closest friend, her city falls, and she's driven by vengeance. This can't be good.
It's definitely a recipe for disaster. The darkness is spreading and even the gods are being affected. Utu, Ninlil's own brother, gets manipulated by Hera.
No, he betrays his own family.
He does. Hera's influence is that strong. He preys on people's weaknesses, their desires and fears, and uses them to his advantage.
It's a good reminder that even the gods aren't immune to temptation and corruption. But in the middle of all this bleakness, there's this one scene that offers a glimmer of hope. Gilgamesh reunites with his mother, Ninsun.
Ah, yes, in the city of Ur. A brief but poignant moment, reminding us of the importance of family, of the bonds that can connect us even in the darkest of times.
A little bit of light in a world that's increasingly shrouded in shadow. But of course, knowing this story, it can't last, can it?
Sadly, no. Akka attacks Ur, and Ninsun is killed.
Another blow for Gilgamesh. The losses just keep piling up. And to make matters worse, he's captured by Akka's forces. Talk about hitting rock bottom.
It's a stark contrast to the Gilgamesh we met at the beginning. He's lost his power, his loved ones, his city. He's been broken, both physically and emotionally.
But sometimes it's in those moments of brokenness that we truly grow, that we discover who we really are.
So what becomes of Gilgamesh? Does he find a way to rise from the ashes? Or is he doomed to be a pawn in this game of gods and monsters? It feels like we're heading toward the climax of this epic story, and I'm not sure what to expect. The world is falling apart, the lines between good and evil are blurred, and even the gods are struggling. What happens to Gilgamesh? Does he find redemption?
Well, it wouldn't be much of an epic without some twists and turns, would it? Gilgamesh's journey takes him down some unexpected paths. But even amidst all this darkness, Wilson highlights these glimmers of hope, these moments of resilience. Take Inanna, for instance.
She's certainly not giving up. Even though she's consumed by grief and vengeance over Ninshubar's death, she's not letting that completely break her.
Exactly. She's channeling that grief into action, into reclaiming her power. But it's a dangerous path, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. She's embracing her destructive potential, becoming a force that even the gods fear. It makes you wonder, what's the true nature of power? Is it meant to be controlled, used for good? Or does it ultimately corrupt those who seek it?
That's a question that echoes throughout this entire epic, and we see it reflected in Ninlil's story as well. Her transformation is both fascinating and frightening.
She's losing herself, becoming a vessel for something ancient and primal, and it's all tied to Era and his agenda of destruction. It's almost like he's puppeteering her, leading her down this dark path.
And her actions have devastating consequences, especially for her own family. That scene where she consumes Enlil's severed head is just...
I know. Chilling, and it reinforces that cyclical nature of violence that runs through the story. Everyone is seeking revenge, trying to right past wrongs, but their actions just perpetuate the cycle of pain and suffering.
And Gilgamesh, trapped in Akka's prison, is caught right in the middle of it all. He's gone from being this powerful king to a powerless observer, forced to watch as the world crumbles around him.
Talk about a fall from grace. But, sometimes it takes hitting rock bottom to gain a new perspective, to truly see yourself and the world around you.
You're right, it's in those moments of vulnerability that we often discover our true strength. And for Gilgamesh, this stripping away of power becomes a crucial turning point.
How so?
It forces him to confront his own mortality, his flaws, and the consequences of his past actions. It's a humbling experience. And ultimately, it leads him to a profound realization
What does he realize?
that true immortality doesn't lie in conquering death, but in leaving behind a legacy that endures long after we're gone. We see this idea explored in the story of Utnapishtim, the survivor of the Great Flood. Remember how Gilgamesh desperately sought him out, hoping to find the secret to eternal life?
Oh yeah, Utnapishtim, the story is a fascinating one. He achieved immortality, but at a great cost. Living forever doesn't sound so appealing when you're forced to live in isolation.
Exactly. Utnapishtim's story is a cautionary tale. It highlights the importance of connection, of those shared experiences that make life meaningful. And Gilgamesh, after witnessing the destruction caused by his own ambition and realizing that true immortality is an illusion, comes to embrace this truth.
So he gives up on his quest for eternal life.
In a way, yes. He realizes that his true legacy lies not in his conquests or his power, but in the stories that will be told about him, the impact he's had on the lives of others. It's a more meaningful and enduring kind of immortality.
Immortality through memory and storytelling. That's a powerful concept.
And it's one of the central themes that Wilson brings to light in her retelling of Gilgamesh. It's a reminder that even though we're all mortal, our stories, our actions, have the power to transcend time.
So even though the world is in chaos and the gods are making some questionable choices, there's still hope.
Always. There's always hope for redemption, for growth, for connection. And stories like Gilgamesh remind us of that. They offer us guidance, inspiration, and a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us.
Well, I have to say, this has been an incredible deep dive. It's given me a lot to think about. The cyclical nature of violence, the weight of our choices, the search for meaning in a world that often feels chaotic.
These are themes that resonate deeply, even thousands of years after Gilgamesh was first told.
And Wilson's retelling brings them to life in a way that feels both fresh and timeless. It's a story that stays with you long after you've finished reading it.
I couldn't agree more. It's an epic journey worth taking.